Welcome to another episode of the Azure Enablement Show. This is the second episode of our series on how you can deploy your Azure Landing Zones using Bicep. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out all the resources and links in the description below. Welcome back. My name is Thomas, and I'm joined by Jack and Jan from the Azure Landing Zone Bicep team. And this is the second episode about how you actually deploy your landing zones using Bicep. So it's great to have you both on again. In the last episode, we talked about how you can actually go and deploy the Azure Landing Zones using Bicep. We got a little bit of an introduction into the repo, and we actually deployed the management group structure. So what is next to enable the platform services, Jack?
Yeah, no, great question. So you're correct. We deploy those management groups. We now need to deploy platform services. So things like the hub networking, maybe the log analytics workspace and the automation account in the management subscription, and also some policy definitions and some policy assignments, which are not really platform resources, but they are supporting the rest of the platform. So we need to get those in place. So yeah, that's what we've got left to do, and hopefully we'll show you how to get those done in this episode.
Awesome. Okay, that's great. So Jan, you already deployed or pre-deployed a couple of these things in advance into our demo tenant. Can you show us what we've got now?
I can indeed. So if you notice where we went with the deployment flow, we deployed the management group module last time. Then off to the side, I deployed the policy definitions, I deployed role definitions, I deployed logging and security, I deployed the hub networking module, role assignments, and subscription placement. And just to show what it looks like, I'll go to the management group here, and you can see that if we go to the Azure Enablement Show, we have our policy definitions in here, in the pseudo root, where we have a number of new policies now. Also, we have in access control, we have these roles that we also included: application owners, network management, security operations, and so on. And then if we go down and look at the connectivity, I pushed in a couple of subscriptions for connectivity, for identity, and for management. And in the connectivity subscription, I deployed networking, hub networking. So that contains Azure Firewall, hub network, obviously, Azure Bastion, a number of private DNS zones, and Express Route Gateway. Going to the management subscription, I deployed log analytics, a number of log analytics solutions, and an automation account.
Fantastic. I mean, I'm just imagining right now how long this would take if I do all of this manually, right? First of all, I would obviously need to know all the best practices and how to set up the structure and everything. And then secondly, again, until I set this up, I probably would take me days to do that manually. And even then, it will not be consistent what I actually want. So how long did it take to actually deploy all this now using Bicep?
So most of these things take only 5 to 10 minutes. So like policy definition, role definitions, and so on and so forth, doesn't really take all that long. The one which does take a bit longer is hub networking, which can take anywhere from 40 to 90 minutes, 30 minutes sometimes, if we're lucky, so to speak. It depends on really how much you put into the parameters file. So if you try to deploy everything, hub networking, Azure Firewall, DDoS, all private DNS zones, and so on and so forth, it can take up to 90 minutes. But when you think about it, it is really a lot that is deployed. So there's no real cause for concern here.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I'm just like that's like kind of like a step where like not something you do probably every single day, right? So it definitely saves you a lot of time. So we already deployed our couple of things. What is left for us to deploy in the Azure Landing Zone setup to support application and workloads in these subscriptions?
So to answer that question, I'll go back to the deployment flow here. And as you can see, we did the subscription placement module. So what's missing right now is the policy assignments. So what I'll do is I'll roll down to policy assignments, which is here. Then I'll go down to command line, And since I'm still using PowerShell, I'm going to go with the command line for PowerShell. Copy that. Go back to Portal. Start my my Cloud Shell, and I'll copy that in. And then I'm going to the parameter file for this, which is this here, ALZ default policy assignments parameters all. As you'll notice, I already filled that in with a number of values to save time, basically. So I have AES as the top level management group prefix. I put in the resource ID for the log analytics workspace, put in the correct automation account name, and put in the resource ID for the DDoS protection plan. So all that's needed for me now is to change the prefix to AES, since that's where we're going to be deploying. And off we go.
So while these policy assignments are created, can you explain a little bit how all these policies are actually got their check?
Yeah, absolutely. So if I just share my screen, I'll actually talk through this. So we've documented this in our wiki on the ALZ-Bicep repo. So on the right-hand side in the navigation, you'll see that there's this, how does ALZ-Bicep implement Azure policies, right? And this will take you to this document. And we talk through how these all get there. So these are all stored in the upstream enterprise scale repo where the portal experience lives and is its home. And we pull all of those policies out of the portal experience, and we share them across the Bicep implementation and the Terraform module as well, so that they're consistent. So whatever implementation option you choose, you get the same set of policies and the same effects. In terms of the ones that we assign, we actually have a number of default assignments that Jan is now making with our default assignments module. And actually what we can do is I'll show you here, we've got another document inside of the enterprise scale repository that talks about what policies are included in the Azure Landing Zones reference implementation. And we've got this lovely diagram, and this has been worked on by some people in the community for us, that talks about what's assigned where. And if we scroll down during this document a little bit more, you'll see at the intermediate root level, it tells you, hey, there's 5 policy sets here and 3 definitions, and it tells you what they are. And we step through that for each of the management group scopes and tell you what's deployed at each of those scopes.
Fantastic. That's really, really helpful to have all these resources. So, okay, by now, I guess the policy assignments should have been deployed and created. So, Jan, can we go back and see what actually happened?
Right. So now the policy assignments has deployed. So let's go to the management group hierarchy and see what it looks like. So I go here to the Azure Enablement Show, I go to policy. And you'll notice that now there are a number of policy assignments here which weren't there before, basically. And if I further go up and look at further scopes, such as, for instance, the landing zones, I can see even more policy assignments on the landing zones scope. And the same goes for the platform, different platform scopes, and so on and so forth.
Awesome. So this really prepares our landing zones for the resources we're going to deploy into this. So Jack, can you tell us a little bit where we should go if we want to learn more and again get started with the repo?
Absolutely. Well, I would first of all say go and check out the first episode. So go back in this series and watch the first one. And then if you want to just jump straight into it, go and check out the short link of aka.ms/ALZ/Bicep.
Fantastic. And obviously we have a third episode ready. So can you tell me a little bit what we can expect from that episode?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've now set up the sort of management group hierarchy, put our policies in place, deployed like those core platform sort of utility services. So the hub network, logging, all of the security elements. Now we're actually ready to deploy landing zone subscriptions and place them in the hierarchy beneath either corp or online to support our applications and workloads, which are also supported by the rest of the ALZ platform.
Fantastic. So thank you very much, Jack and Jan. It was again a pleasure to have you on this one and looking forward to the next one. And thank you for everyone watching. Make sure you check out aka.ms/adopt.